Welcome to the BBC Podcast, tapping in with Tunchi again. This morning we heading down to the NY, get some real guy advice from neighborhood friendly man. Let's get it.
Get on your job, nigga. Motivation. Haters better get on your job. Tell them. Haters get on your job, nigga. This motivation. Suck a nigga, get on your job if you.
All right, cool, man. Hey, man, I'm Black Spider Guy Advice from NYC, trying to help men out from dealing with the 304s and trying to help women as well understand at the end of the day, men are more than just D and wallets. You know, I'm just trying to be in the manosphere, but come at it from a more goofy, fun, comedic side. That's what I do. It's fun. And I'm not trying to hate nobody neither. We're just trying to keep it in the middle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, man. I get you. Yeah, I like your content, man. It's super, super catchy, man, with the right message. So, yeah, that's why I had to hit you up.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you, man. I didn't know that I was being looked at like that. So it's really cool to have someone like you, just, hey, man, you want to be on the podcast? I was like, oh, shit, that's cool, man. Yeah, sure, definitely would like to be on the podcast.
Yeah, for sure. Let me pick your brain a little bit, though, man. Let me first question is going to be, can you describe today the issues with men? Like, what is considered, like, what would women say, what's the modern simp?
So when it comes to that question, you're always going to get double answers because there's girls out there that utilize simps for currency and they like that men are weak and they like that men are going out here and doing whatever the hell they want. And then you've got girls on the other side of that. They're like, okay, I'm tired of men just doing whatever I want. I want somebody that's going to tickle that part of me, that animalistic side that's going to be that leader. So first and foremost, when a girl, in the modern day is asking, why are men this way? And it's like, well, you can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say, well, I want to be the superior and men need to step down and not expect somebody to become the inferior. I think we have this weird idea that there's some kind of middle ground, but nothing is perfect in this world. There's always a give and a take. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. You would think it's more of just because the experience I have with ladies here on my podcast that come in here all the time, and I feel like it's like 80% are just leaning more towards the feminists, and 20% are still like they don't agree with it completely, and they still want the traditional thing, but they're like scared to go against the grain that's going on right now.
Well, the thing is, at the end of the day, every woman wants that traditionalism. That traditionalism is that security. It's like having a bank account that's ready to cash out at a certain age. They know that deep down inside, they need that. That's why they like the simping, right? They know deep inside, hey, man, when I'm older and I can't have fun anymore, I'm going to need somebody to kind of be there for me. So that's why that part of them is like, well, I like the traditionalism. But then when they're still young, they're still fresh, they can ride as 15,000 Ds, 20,000 Ds. They don't want to think about traditionalism because they know it's going to keep them from being able to have this fun that all of them want to enjoy.
Yeah,
so they make excuses. So they make excuses, and this is one of the things I love about it. They'll be like, why do you dislike women that have high body counts? And it's like, or they'll say, why do you dislike women that have single women that have children? And it's just like, all you're doing is trying to shame a man out of his standards, right? That's all they're doing. Yeah. They know that what they have is a negative. It'd be like me as a man, for example, saying, you know what? I know I'm 5'2", but I wear these platform shoes, blah, blah, blah. Don't make fun of my platform shoes.
Yeah, true.
How dare you? You wouldn't date somebody with platform shoes? And it's like, you take off the platform shoes, you're really 5'2", I wouldn't date you. So it's the same thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, very
you
true.
know that we as men want you for certain things, just like you want us for certain things. Girls nowadays, when they're younger, they want to shame men out of their standards so that they can have as much fun as possible until they get older. And that's when that traditionalism wakes up and they're like, okay, now I'm reborn and now you should take me seriously.
Yeah, especially when they hit the wall.
Oh, yeah.
So what would you say, some advice for the guys that are taking these hits from the women and out there trying to like date and everything, getting shamed, not getting the phone numbers, not getting the acceptance that they want, and they're going into depression? How would you motivate these guys to?
So I was once that guy, you know what I'm saying? I was once that guy that was having issues. Oh, man, I can't get a girl. Oh, my God. Equating my value into me being able to get a woman was like the worst thing I could have ever done in my life as a man. Because I didn't even know who I was as a man. So how could I be upset that I can't get women when I don't even know what a man to a woman actually is, right? So I would say to any man that's having issues with women, first sit down with yourself and ask, would a woman want me? Why would a woman want me? Why do women want men at all? Do I have those traits that those men would have? If the answer is no, work on those things. Self improvement was one of the best things I could have ever did. Going to the gym, understanding what money was, getting my passport, really getting a better job. I went through 3 different jobs, but kept getting promoted, moved out, got myself my own place, really started figuring out what it really meant to be a man, budgeting, learning not to eat shit all the time, drinking lots of water, stuff like that will make you shine a little bit brighter, because you got to really think about it like this. All of us men are in a competition with one another. And if you want to get that prize, quote unquote prize, I'm not saying prize in the sense that they are the prize, but if you want to get that girl that wants you, you need to be something worth a damn. So your depression, understandably so, you want to be with a woman, but you need to understand that if you're not doing A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, you need to stand up and you need to start working, man.
For sure. Yeah, I totally agree with that. What would you say about guys that are, like you said, not prioritizing, right? Like chasing the woman and not, like you said, it's self-improvement. Like they need a reality check. You know what I'm saying? Like how you said, they need to bring up their self-worth, so that way that it's not so much of a chase, because like you actually become the prize, and then it's easier to choose and pick like once your value goes up.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can you elaborate a little bit about this passport bros that's like hitting the media?
So the passport bros, was actually something that happened. It was happening in Norway, or the Netherlands, actually, before it came to America. I don't know if you looked this up or saw this article, but the men in the Netherlands were going to Thailand and were marrying women from Thailand and bringing them over to their home country. And it was happening at such a high rate that women were actually trying to get foreign wives banned, because women were being completely ignored at such a high level. You know what I'm saying? So,
okay, I didn't know that.
That came over to the United States and it blew up, because I feel like a lot of men in the manosphere in the beginning of all of this felt like there was no way out. They felt like, okay, you know what, modern women, this is just how it is.
Yeah.
I'm going to go monk mode. I'm not going to mess around no more. What Passport Bros did was it gave men an option. It said, hey, you don't have to suffer in this feminist-like torture. You can go out and play the options game just like women do. Women get mad at Passport Bros, but will get a ticket and fly to Japan. Girls will get mad at Passport Bros, but then go to Miami. Girls will get mad at Passport Bros, but then go to Shanghai with some sugar daddy. Girls will get mad at Passport Bros, but go to Africa and get banged out by some dude in Morocco. Okay, So girls have been doing this just like men have been doing it. It's just men are more vocal. We're saying to everybody, hey, bros, you don't got to do this no more. Girls don't like this, which I think is hilarious, because they professed for years, men ain't shit.
Yep.
Men are the problem. Men are the predators. Men are the ones causing all of our problems, down with the patriarch. So men said, okay, we're going to leave you alone. We're going to go overseas. Girls were, what? There's an option. They're gonna be happy without me. They don't gotta pay me money and go on crazy expensive $300 dates. What? So of course, if you're a girl that knows she's a regular girl, and by you're a regular girl, I mean erase the delusion for a moment, because you got 1,000 dudes in your DMs just trying to hit on you. You know, as a woman, maybe you're 27, 26 years old. You got all these dudes in your DMs giving you money, giving you all this attention. All of a sudden, you're seeing them go away. Wait, what? Where's all that attention going? Where's that energy going? Is there something wrong with me? No, there can't be nothing wrong with me. It's them. So now we're going to attack what they're doing. Oh, they're going overseas to manipulate these weaker women, to manipulate these women. They use the word manipulate and predator a lot, because they're trying to shame men out of going over.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's cute though, because again, like, they've been doing the same shit. They just don't want to admit it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
For real. especially when they say, like you said, like, man, like the whole equality thing, man, is being picking and choosing. Like they're saying, like they want equality, but not straight across the board. It's just when it benefits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, this whole like say the numbers game that goes on with the whole divorce rate and who keeps the kids and all that stuff like that. Tell me personally, how do you feel about men that are not able to gain access to their kids, like and all that stuff like that, but the whole child support thing is like just like it's always staying deep in their pockets, and that the moms are reaching for more and more, trying to just drain the guy that has to pay his own rent. Also,
the child support, that whole system in itself is devised for the government to make money. A lot of people don't realize that the reason why you go to jail if you don't pay child support is because the government takes a piece of that, right? You don't go to jail because you didn't pay your baby mama. You're going to jail because you didn't pay the government. The government has a giant pool that they pull from child support. That's why they want the baby mama to increase the child support. It's not because they want to give the child more money. It's because there's a whole thing with the states where they get billions of dollars are generated from the system. To the point where they don't want to eliminate child support. There's too much for them to gain. If the child actually got all the money that the man pays out, the child would be very well off. Children would be walking around 18 years old with great investments and such. So just to hit that first part of child support, it makes the system money, right? That's why it hasn't been fixed. That's one. Number two, the system acts as if it's 1905. Women have a job. Men have a job. Men pay bills. Women pay bills. A lot of the time, the courts will favor the woman getting the child, no matter what's going on. And so they say, well, this woman has gotten full custody. You as a man should support. But the thing is this. If you're saying that you're going to give full custody, 100% custody to this person, yes, I made that child. But you're saying that that child would be better off with them. Yeah. You're cutting me off. Why do I need to support? People say, well, that's your child. That has nothing to do with anything, I feel personally, because the court system has stated that this person is best suited to take care of said child. Exactly. That would also mean that you have a job. That would also mean that you are able to afford a lifestyle that can take care of not only you, but the kid as well. So don't give full custody to this person just because they're a girl. That's sexist. Give the child to somebody who can take care of the kid financially and both mentally without the need of outside help. Right? Single mom, I'm an independent woman. I don't need no man. But you need our money. See, that's where that whole independent stuff goes out the window. You want to be able to do whatever you want, but don't take away that money. Oh, don't take away that money.
Yeah, for sure. Very, very
It's a big issue, man.
It is, man. Big time. And speaking of that, the whole money thing, I don't know, I'd like to use the word, but I just got to use it, man. Like this more impatient men who don't want to improve themselves and just like jumping online, man, and getting this dopamine fix of these OnlyFans girls, all these TikTok barely wearing anything type of thing. It's like throwing money to these girls' cash apps and all stuff like that, man. Like, what would you recommend to these guys to stop complaining about the women that aren't giving them attention because they're just throwing their money at them anyway?
My thing is with that, I had a follower who's 53 years old. Tell you a little story. 53 years old, and he went on my live. He started crying. I was like, yo, what's the matter, bro? He's like, you're young enough to be my son. So I'm in my 20s, mid to late 20s. And he said, you're young enough to be my son, and you woke me up. I've been chasing women all my life. I don't have much money. I work security all my life. All I do is go to strip clubs, and I give money to these chicks. I don't got no wife. I don't got no kids. I live at my parents' house. And I'm just like, you're 53 years old. Don't got no money. All you did is go to strip clubs and women of the night, you know, and it's like he's crying because he realized that he just gave away so much life and resources to these women that at the end of the day don't give a fuck about him. Yeah. And what I would say to the men out there that are going on these fans pages and stuff like that, you're wasting time, brother. You're wasting time because you're gonna die. True. We're all marching to that graveyard, my friend. And do you want to leave a legacy behind? Do you want to be that guy that just jacked off to girls he couldn't sleep with, or do you want to be somebody who was important? And unfortunately, you know, I was in the military, and when I was in the military, my petty officer used to tell me, He said, a majority of the people in the world are meant to follow. And then there's a few of us that are meant to lead. And the people that lead are the ones that can handle stress and turmoil. But the best a man can be is a man under stress. We're designed to fight. We're designed to lead. We're designed to be that beast in the jungle that can fight off any other beasts. Why we were able to dominate the forest and dominate every animal. It's what we're supposed to do. It's what we used to do.
Very true.
But we've lost our way. And so it's unfortunate that men have become trapped in their own cage of their own making. We've designed the perfect cage. And unfortunately, a lot of men have fallen to the wayside. But I would say this, man, at the end of the day, ask yourself, what kind of man do you want to be? I know what kind of man I want to be. Yeah. I may wear a mask and have blue eyes, but I know who the fuck I want to be.
Yeah, for sure.
At the end of the day, I know what I'm about. And I always ask myself every day, am I living to the standard of what that man in the future would want me to be? Can I look back at myself with a kind and respectful mindset? Or will I look back and say that man who I was in the past was just of ill repute? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't want to do that. My dad always told me, he said, 10-year-old you takes care of 18-year-old you. 18-year-old you takes care of 20-year-old you. 20-year-old you takes care of 30-year-old you. And 30-year-old you takes care of 40-year-old you. It's a baton pass. If you fuck that pass up, you're going to make the 30-year-old you start off slow. And then if 30-year-old is starting off slow, the 40-year-old you is going to start off even slower. We ain't got time.
Yeah, very well put, man. Very, very well said, man. One more thing, being that, like I said, like how you just elaborated, like how your dad taught you very good points and set you up for the future. Like, what would you say for men who obviously don't have that man in the household, might not have that uncle or anything like that? Where should they look to get male support and male guidance besides the internet? So,
my dad didn't have a father. And I think my dad is the best dad I ever had. My dad went to the Army. He was a sniper. My dad did his thing. Okay. My dad, unfortunately, went into the streets. That's where he found his masculinity at. But luckily, he was able to get out of it. My father used to watch my grandmother have multiple men in the home. He said it messed him up. He was getting beat by random dudes he didn't know. But I always asked my father, how did you get this strong? He always told me, son, he found leadership in different types of men. And he tested that in his own life. So what he would do is he would see other men and what they did and see how that worked in his world. You know what I'm saying? So I would say seek out men you wish to envision yourself to be. My dad would always tell me, son, what do you want to be? I said, well, I would like to be like a Nikola Tesla. So my dad said, okay, how did he dress? How did he speak? How did he walk? Where did he go? What books did he read? How did he become famous? What did he do? Do those things. Emulate those things, put those things into practice. And it's not going to come out the same. You're not Nikola Tesla. You're not Warren Buffett. You're not Mark Zuckerberg. But what you can do is emulate their behavior to a degree that it benefits your lifestyle.
Very true.
So I would say find those gems and mimic those people to your best of your ability. If you go to a gym and you learn how to curl from a bodybuilder, eventually you're going to get muscle. It's the same concept.
Very, very true. Another good point.
Another one.
And then, quick point, real quick. Like you said, I'm on the same boat, man. Like, not here to hate women, just here to want to wake some women up on some things that they might not be aware of, that they're just being trained by with the social media and the feminist movement, or however they want to call it. But what would you say to the women and to let them know that not all guys are the nice guys, the losers and stuff like that, and be able to give like any regular guy a chance to stop chasing the blue checks and top 1% type of guys?
Problem with that is that that's based in society, right? Women are society status gainers. Girls are all about safety, security, and stability, and they're always going to be aiming for that within any society. That's just their nature. That's their biology. You can't fault them for that. So when a girl is like, yo, I keep chasing these millionaires and blah, 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 that's because deep down inside, her instinct is telling her to chase the highest value person. Unfortunately, a lot of the nice guys, right, those are her provisions. She knows eventually she's not going to be able to get these high-level men. So she's going to do her best to get the bag, quote unquote, or gather the wealthiest men possible and get some of those resources. But if she can't, she at least has these other men to back on. It all goes back to survival, animalistic urges and tendencies. You know, to the women out there that are constantly going after those men, I would say, hey, man, that's your fault. You don't see the value in the nice guy that's trying to be there for you even when you're fucking up. You don't see the value in that guy that's willing to take you home after you got drunk. You're not seeing the value in that guy that saw you get smashed in the face and then try to clean your face up and call the police. You don't see the value in those men because at the end of the day, it doesn't speak to their instinctive desires to have this high level of status. You know, it's unfortunate. But again, like I said before, we've built ourselves the perfect cage. And what we've done is we put all the good food in there and all these other things in there. And girls are hooked, just like men are hooked to different kinds of things. But, you know, to the women out there that are saying, I'm tired of these men cheating and whatnot, I would just say, hey, you reap what you sow. You keep aiming for the top 10, 30% of men. Those men are getting most of the women. There's already been surveys done on this. And if you keep aiming for these men who have all these women, none of them are going to settle for you. None of them are going to see you as more than just an item to be utilized. So if you want to change the narrative, change the men you're going after. But a lot of girls don't want to do this thing called taking accountability. So it's very difficult, bro. So I would just say to those women, man, that just as a conclusion, like, good luck to you. Because, you know, when you hit 30-year-old you is going to realize that 20-year-old you fucked up. And unfortunately, even Brittany Renner, who was recently on Pearly Things, she said it herself, I regret. I was like, you regret. Yeah. We were saying you were going to say that. She's like, I'm not going to regret nothing. Yeah. Now you're saying it.
Very true. So, I remember seeing her videos like 4 years ago, like being all proud, making those videos in her car, telling girls to do the same thing.
Now you regret.
Yeah. All right, man. But so lastly, how can a Black Spider give a message to his 13-year-old self on how and where he's going to be 15 years from now? What advice could you give yourself, your younger self?
If I were to give my youngest self any advice, it would be to learn the economy now instead of a little later.
Okay.
Get into fitness just a little bit more. But other than that, stay on track. You're fine. You're doing what you need to do. You're staying out of trouble. You have a dream. You're not going to allow yourself to falter. Just don't give into the darkness too much. That's what screwed us over. It'll make us stronger, but we didn't need to go through that chapter. Focus on the light, not the dark.
I like that, man. Man, I got to say, I probably for everybody, man, that watches your content and everything, but speaking on you one-on-one, man, you're very, very intelligent man. And I like what you're doing, man. You're going to be a real good voice for us out here. I appreciate you doing the interview.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you, man, BBC. I want to check your content out more. I like your studio. I like how you have everything set up. It's very professional. I like your podcast, bro. So definitely going to check you out more. And I appreciate you for watching, man, because I always say at the end of the day, Black Spider Guy Advice is nothing without people who out there understand the message that I give out. So thank you so much, bro.
For sure, man. I'll be shooting you some of the content, man. As soon as I get this thing edited, man, I'll shoot it your way.
Please do. I'm going to clip it and put it on my page. So please do.
For sure, man. Appreciate you again, man. We'll do this again soon, man.
Thanks, man. You have a good one, bro. Stay strong.
You too.